Hey guys, welcome to SoTurf Airsoft. I am Wraith from Team SoTurf, and this is
Goku.
also from Team SoTurf. We're here today to talk to you mostly about the new Elite Force revolver called the Smoke Wagon. It was just recently released by Elite Force. Goku went ahead and picked one up, and we thought we would do a video comparing and contrasting things that we like about this revolver with another company's revolver, which is the Dan Wesson 715, which I field a lot actually in Airsoft. So first of all, Goku, if you just want to hold it up for the camera, the Smoke Wagon itself is beautiful. This is what I like to call an American classic. It is modeled after a smaller, sized-down model of the Colt Peacemaker, 45 Long Colt. Obviously, this isn't the 45 Long Colt cylinder. But basically, how it works is it doesn't work like this modern-style revolver, where there is a cylinder release, which allows the cylinder to come to the side. That's a pretty modern thing when it comes to revolvers. This revolver has a fixed cylinder and then a slot right there, which you open. Could you show the camera a little closer? And then you have to load each shell from the back. These use a slightly different shell than the ASG and the Elite Force CQBs, but they are compatible with the other shells. Or if you want to eject, there's an ejection button, slide, lever thing on the front of the gun so that when you open up this port, you can push the shells out with the ejector. But all over, it's full metal body. It does have a polymer handguard that's faux wood. If you want to take the handguard off real quick, Goku. The handguard actually has a tool for the CO2 in it, which is something that they did on the Dan Wesson series, something they should do in all airsoft revolvers from now on, because it's a great idea. Don't have to carry an Allen key with you.
Nope, it's all built in. It's nice.
Then as you can see, it runs on a standard 12-gram CO2 cartridge. It's got a very different grip than any other revolver on the market for airsoft right now. This is a traditional cowboy style grip versus like a combat revolver grip like the 715. It is single action. Single action in revolvers mean that you have to pull the hammer back physically every time. On the Dan Wesson, I can cycle it by either pulling back the hammer or by pulling the trigger, which cycles the cylinder as well. On this, you have to pull back the hammer every time. That is old school single action army style. It's very cool because the trigger pull is actually really nice, but for speed built, like actually shooting from the trigger speed, it's not built for that. What it is built for is fanning the hammer. I'm sure many of you guys have seen that. Now, I won't say that we necessarily recommend this. It is hard on your airsoft gun, just like slam firing an airsoft shotgun is hard on your shotgun. There's more room for errors to happen or for you to accidentally break something if you're fanning the hammer. There is definitely the cool factor associated with it. And like let's say you're trained in cowboy action shooting and you're used to doing stuff like that, go for it. Just know that if you're practicing it, be very gentle with the revolver. You don't want to accidentally break something and then ruin your nice new Elite Force gun. But overall, it's a very solid gun. It comes in right at around $140, which is a great price point. Goku, what have you thought about it so far? Have you fielded it?
Yeah, so I fielded it for one day at the Airsoft Arena.
Okay.
Just as a secondary.
Okay.
But no, like you said, I mean, it has a really good weight to it. It's comfortable to hold, and just it's a nice quick draw to just the quick pop shot real quick.
Yeah, what do you think about the sights? Because this uses an old style what's called a blade sight. So there's basically a piece that's carved out here on the back of the cylinder, or the piece of metal that holds the cylinder in place, and then there's a blade up front. So oftentimes people, when they're aiming, they don't bury the blade enough because it's supposed to be even with the rear sight blade or the rear notch. So sometimes people have some issues with aiming this thing. What was your experience with that?
Honestly, I just kind of pointed and hoped I hit the person.
Nice. That's totally fine.
A lot of hit, like hip firing kind of stuff. But I mean, when I did go long range down sight, it wasn't too uncomfortable to try to sight in.
And then carrying it in the holster. So this gun actually has it's in the half cock position right now, which is the safe position since it can't be fired from the half cock position with the hammer. But there is also, if you look on the bottom of the gun, there's a manual safety lever right there, which is a great addition for any airsoft gun, just in case you want to keep it in the holster and you really want to make sure it doesn't go off. That will, of course, take some time to disengage, but yeah, with the hammer pulled back, it comes back pretty far, And then when you want to, if you want to flip the safety off and put it in the half cock position, that would be the safe position. Manual safe forward, and then half cock position for safe. So that's something you probably have to get used to, but it's old school, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm a big history person, so when I saw this, I was all over this.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's a piece of American history for
yeah.
sure. And the name Smoke Wagon, for those of you who don't know, comes from the classic Western Tombstone. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. That's definitely a required watch for any Western fans or cowboy fans for sure. So contrasting the new Smoke Wagon with the Dan Wesson 715. I have this nice holster for it. This is more of a modern combat revolver. What that means is you don't have this old style grip. You have the over-exaggerated Hogue style rubberized grip. I don't know. Let's measure the barrel size from this. Mine's just slightly longer, so yours is almost about the same.
Yep. This obviously doesn't come any shorter than this length.
Although
whereas...
a new version is going to be coming out called the Wild Card. That's going to be a limited series run, and that will have a slight, I think, 2-inch shorter barrel.
It's shorter, and actually that one actually has an
extended over-exaggerated hammer. Yeah.
It's specifically made for banging that hammer.
Nice.
But yes.
So this one, obviously, it's a little bit more versatile when it comes to being able to use double action or single action. The safety on this one's actually located right under the hammer, and it physically blocks the hammer from coming back. So that's, again, a more modern style thumb-located safety. It does have adjustable sights, which this one doesn't. And this one does have an adjustable hop-up, so it's easier to use heavier BBs or dial in heavier BBs on this. All that being said, and I've used this gun quite a few times, Trouble in Terrorist Town games, even as just a sidearm at the arena. I love this gun, but that being said, I'm still going to buy one of the Smoke Wagons because of simply the cool factor. And also, like you said, it's a piece of American history. It's a great thing to own. And the build quality on them is fantastic.
Yeah.
You just need to know that if you're looking for performance out of a revolver for game-wise, you might be better off going to something like this. You can reload it faster. It does have the double and single action options. But if you're just going for cool factor or a role-playing rig, or you just want to do some cowboy action stuff, or you just like it, get one of these Smoke Wagons. Honestly, it's super cool. So the last thing that I did want to talk about is the shell compatibility. Yes, for the Smoke Wagon itself. ASG has 2 series of shells that work in the 715. They have the high-powered shell, which is the brown top, and the low-powered shell, which is the yellow top. The low-powered shells make the revolver shoot around 300 to 315. The high-powered, and I'm talking about the ASG right now, the high-powered makes it shoot right around 400. So obviously this would be like for target shooting. You couldn't even probably play outside with this, depending on what field you go to. But Elite Force has 2 separate shells. One is for their CQB revolver, which you actually also have, which is a silver with a brown top, and those are CQB legal in the Elite Force CQB.
Yep. So that will be measuring, right around 350 or under.
340 to 350-ish.
And then these are the new shells that come with the Smoke Wagon.
Now, the major difference is those load from the back.
The back. Yes.
So that's more like the old school green gas revolver style shells, where these are loading from the front. Now the cool part is these shells and the Dan Wesson shells do fit and work in the Smoke Wagon.
Yep.
They vary in feet per second from the stock ones. What's been your experience on those?
These were, obviously the stock ones, as they're designed to work with the system, shot a little hotter, closer to like the 340-ish.
Okay.
The other Elite Force ones were
the CQB shells.
Again, right around there. I found that the Dan wasn't high-powered shells, though. They were about 300, 315.
Okay.
Same thing with the low-powered.
So it shoots about the same with both the Wesson cells.
And the reason is similar to their CQB model, the Smoke Wagon has an internal regulator for the CO2. So that means, for those of you guys that do own revolvers and a lot of variety of shells, you don't have to worry about getting a specific shell or mixing up your shells on field. You can just cram whatever in there and off you go.
Well, that's really, really useful. And I think that being able to use all the shells on the market was a big plus for the Elite Force Smoke Wagons.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to bring you guys some of our thoughts and information. We're going to actually do a chrono test of the Smoke Wagon to show you guys exactly what we're shooting with all these shells. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and stay tuned for more videos and reviews. Smoke Wagon shell. Test with the Smoke Wagon shells. Take one. 306 on a full CO2. Elite Force CQB revolver shell with 0.2 gram BB. Good to go. Give it a chrono. There we go. $139. There we go. Elite Force CQB test 2. 262. That's a big deviation. It has to be in the half-cock position to move the cylinder, people. It's a little bit different than most modern revolvers.
As you say it, I totally do it the wrong way.
It's fine. Elite Force CQB revolver shell, chrono test. 284, so just under 300. That's about what Ty said it was going to be at. Okay, this is the ASG Dan Wesson low-powered shell with the yellow top in the Elite Force Smoke Wagon. Go ahead, Ryan. Okay, chrono test. 165. Dan Wesson ASG low powered shells, chrono test. 160. Consistent. Dan Wesson ASG shells in the Elite Force Smoke Wagon, chrono test.
Yep.
158 is the ASG Dan Wesson high-powered shell in the Elite Force Smoke Wagon revolver. Chrono test. 304. Nice. Elite Force Smoke Wagon ASG Dan Wesson high-powered shells, chrono test. 308.